How long does grief last? This is often the question I'm asked in the early appointments in my private therapy practice. Today we'll explore this question with both some compassion and some research. My name is Jo McRogers, and I support grief through this YouTube channel and my private therapy practice. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you can join our Grievolution community, where our goal is to do grief differently. The last video that I posted spoke about the new mental health illness diagnosis called prolonged grief disorder, and it prompted a lot of questions about the length of grief. I will link to that video at the end of this one in case you missed it. Please have a watch. And I do thank all of you for your comments on that last video. I have yet to respond to them, but I have read them all, and I thank you so much for being part of our Grievolution community. So, how long does grief last? I awoke to this beautiful sky several mornings ago. Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. So why is this significant to how long does grief last? My father died when I was 21 years old, which means that my grief for him began 40 years ago. At first, my grief was deep and defining and debilitating, and yet I worked so hard to keep it invisible all at the same time. My grief then moved to anger and isolation, and next came numbness and darkness. Eventually, some acceptance did come to me, but that acceptance was through gritted teeth and stubbornness and denial, rather than through any source of wisdom or grief work. The insult, the loss of my father, became less, and the wound just became a scar. Research says that as acceptance rises, sadness, anger, disbelief, yearning, and grief all lessen. This is over a period of 24 months. Do you have any thoughts about this timeline? If so, comment below, and the reference for where to find this graph is in the description of this video. So, where is my grief now, 40 years later? There are moments when I'm 8 and I'm in the woods appreciating Mother Nature, simply because that's what my father taught me, respect for Mother Nature. Other times I'm 19 and I'm at the hospital with him, and then I'm 21 and leaving his funeral full of anger. Other times I'm moving to New York City, taking big risks without him knowing this, that I'm being brave. Then I'm choosing my partner without my father getting to meet him. Then I become a mother, knowing that my father will never get to know my children and they will never get to know him. Other times I am counting the seconds between the lightning and the thunder, and he is somewhere in the ether in between. Sometimes I'm searching for trilliums in the spring in the forest, and he's missing. Sometimes I'm reciting his lessons of red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. There are ways that my grief touches me that I continue to resent, and there are other times that my grief touches me that I hold special and true. My grief has changed over the years. It still exists, though. The passage of time, as well as grief work, has now allowed me to find a way to carry my grief with me into my life. My life is not because of my grief, it is not in spite of my grief, but it is as well as, it is with my grief. I believe that grief has an indefinable timeline. It exists in me and it exists with me. As a grieving spouse, how are you to begin a new relationship with somebody without missing the person that died, your old partner? How to go gracefully into more mature years when your adult child has died and you don't get to watch them move into their mature years? How can you hear a news broadcast without being grief-provoked when someone who you loved has died through a tragic accident or through violence? How to bring another baby into your life after yours has died. I am currently supporting many women and families right now who are trying to become pregnant, stay pregnant, or to contemplate the idea of becoming pregnant again after their baby has passed. I am wearing this lovely pendant as a beautiful reminder to support them. So please, if you could, say a prayer, light a candle, wish upon a star for all of these beautiful families. So, research aside, 40 years and still counting for me. How long does grief last? You tell me. Please, in the comments below, let me know how long you've been grieving. I send your grief kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. If this has been helpful, please like and share for YouTube to know that they should make this video widely available to all who are seeking answers to how long does grief last. Thank you and take good care.